All right, and good evening to you, and welcome to the Gulf Coast Blitz here for week number 7. Yes, indeed. We are live. I know it's not our normal night for the Gulf Coast Blitz, but, we tried to accommodate everybody with the way things have happened here. A lot of games made up last night along the Gulf Coast. But glad y'all are here with us. If you got a question, comment, where you want to share your thoughts, hit us up in the comment box wherever you're watching us at on Facebook, X/Twitter, or YouTube. You can watch, leave a comment, question, or whatever you may want to share with us, and we will share that with you here as we go through the next 45 minutes here on the Gulf Coast Blitz here in a specials time slot of 7:30 to 8:30 to 8:15 tonight. And then coming up afterwards, we'll have the North Florida Blitz at 8:30 until 9:15. And Josh Wilson here at FloatHSFootball.com. Appreciate everybody joining us here. And a lot going on around the Sunshine State as we recap week number 6. Get ready for week number 7. And with that said, it is time for the Blitz lines. And we're going to have a double dose of Blitz lines here tonight as we break up everything between what has happened here over the last week. And first of all, Lakeland continuing to dominate here as they rolled Lake Gibson in the game that got moved up to Tuesday night. We were on air when we were doing this with the playoff break, the Drive the State show, and Lakeland dominated Lake Gibson 63-0, and Xander Smith 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, 134 yards passing. Shanar Clower had 4 receiving touchdowns for the Dreadnoughts, along with 126 yards receiving. So, I mean, Lakeland just literally gave Lake Gibson everything. They gave them the business in 2 quarters, basically, and just basically ran the clock out in the second half, and it came over. All right, everybody, stand by. We apologize. We had an internet outage. So if you give me a second, I'm trying to get everything back up here. Here we go. Hold on. I have flipped over trying to get back on. I just lost internet totally here. So give me 1 second as I am trying to get everything back up because it literally kicked me out. And I apologize here. We'll roll along here. Just give me 1 second here. And there we go. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. I apologize with the internet connection here. We lost everything here. So we were talking about Lakeland there, and yeah. Yes, and had to hook up. So I've had to go to my mobile hotspot for right now in order to get back on. Apparently the internet is out on my end on my connection here, but so we're back up and live up again. Apologize everybody for that the technical glitch there. It's something that went out on our end. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we are trying to get everything back up on there and everything. So again, I apologize here as we roll along. All right, Carrollwood Day. Here we go, Carrollwood Day, and I'm going to see if I can have in the comments here. So. Yes, Emery. Yes, Emery. What happened was that the screen freezing is that I lost internet connection there. So yes. So hopefully we'll go from there. But Trying to roll along here. Sorry, give me a moment to reset here. Okay. All right. Carrollwood Day here hands Lakeland Christian their first loss. How about this one? We had a little bit of debate about this on the show last week with a few people thinking that Carrollwood Day was not really up to snuff here. But I really think that tough schedule to start out the season with has actually paid dividends here for Carrollwood Day, and it sure did. 31-17. Carrollwood Day Patriots beat the Lakeland Christian Vikings. And honestly, I have to say this, that the Vikings schedule with the weak schedule, honestly, to me and in my opinion for that, was really what cost them right there. And honestly, you can't play a weak schedule and then not get caught at some point. And I feel like that's what happened there for Lakeland Christian. Got caught there with the schedule. And sure enough, here we are. We're talking about Lakeland Christian being handed their first loss of the 2024 season. So as we roll along here, we got Wiregrass Ranch, so we're going to talk about in a moment. But how about Mulberry? Mulberry shuts out Hardy to stay undefeated. And again, another game I felt might have been giving too much credence to, but Mulberry in their game played last night was delayed from Friday due to Helene. The visiting Panthers shut out the Wildcats on their home field and shut out the Wildcats on their field and took back home the control of the driver's seat in District 3A 12. And looking at it, I figured Emery Smith would have a comment here about this game, and I'm going to pull it up here. And he says Hardy's defense performed well against Mulberry in the first half, trailing 6-0 at halftime hour. The offense struggled all game, and the quarterback continued to have passing issues, leading to a 24-0 loss. The game got nasty in the end, resulting in unsportsmanlike penalties at separate times for both teams. I thought a big fight could have happened. Ooh, not the best way you would like to end a football game right there in that situation. So, anyways, as we roll along here, we're going to go talk about Wiregrass Ranch and Mitchell going into Pasco County. Yes. How about this? Wiregrass Ranch and Mitchell still undefeated, one more week closer to that showdown between both teams in District 6A9. And, honestly, it looked really good for Wiregrass Ranch. 42-0 over Sun Lake. But here's the thing. Mitchell had to battle Orlando Lakes 44-37 to keep that unblemished record intact. And, honestly, to be honest with you, it really, in this situation for Mitchell, it shows that, there could be some problems for Mitchell along the line here. And honestly, thinking Wiregrass Ranch may actually have the upper hand when they do meet on October 11th. So keep that in mind. Both teams could be undefeated coming in that game, but Mitchell is showing that points where they have had to battle against teams along the way. All right, as we roll along here, Springstead also undefeated. We haven't talked much about Springstead, the Springstead Eagles, the only team in Hernando County still undefeated through the midway point of the season. Eagles are 5-0, and they took care of business against Cypress Creek out of Wesley Chapel 42-21 last night. And Springspread looking pretty good, but as you saw on the Drive the State show, we have that 4-5 matchup that would happen in their region, in Class 5A Region 2, between Springstead and Edgewater. So in a 4-5 seed if that were to happen. All right. As we roll along here, Tampa Bay Tech continues to roll, but when we look at the game stats from that one here, honestly, looking at it, it wasn't the prettiest box score, especially when Darian Jones only had 88 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns among the offense, and 205 yards total rushing. So a little bit on the ground, but they did beat Spoto 42-7. And honestly, Tampa Bay Tech, they've played a tough schedule, and their 2 losses are against pretty good quality competition in Venice and Armwood. So for Tampa Bay Tech, they're rolling along pretty well here as we move along here during the 2024 season here as we head into week number 7. All right. As we look at it here, this one we talked about coming up here, and with Newsom. Newsom did a pretty good number on Strawberry Crest. We mentioned that in the Ride the State show, but Strawberry Crest being handed their first loss. The Wolves rolled the Strawberry Crest Chargers 44-0, and Noah Gunther 102 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. It was a collective effort on in the rushing department, 273 total yards of rushing, 3 touchdowns for Newsom. And really, you can't ask about any more than that out of your offense to do a collective effort, teamwork right there in order to get a win of the night. But also defensively, 3 interceptions for Newsome against Strawberry Crest. So that'll do it right there for you on that one. You can, with the defense taking away three possessions on Strawberry Crest, you're more likely than not, you are going to win a football game by doing that. So if you got any questions, comments, anything you want to talk to us about, we can talk to you about that. Just join us here on the show here on FloridaHSFootball.com, and we'll gladly take anything that you've got to sit there, and we will answer any questions, any thoughts. Share your comments like we do. Like Emery Smith earlier had a couple of comments as well. So we're going to do that, but we're going to be coming up here on our first water break as we roll along here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. And then we'll have the Blitz Lines Part 2 and our Pick 6 for week number 7. We'll go over how the picks went for week number 6 as well. We'll be right back right here on the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. All right, welcome back here on the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com and on the FloridaHSFootball.com social media networks here. And again, a lot happening here along the Gulf Coast Blitz. And again, it was definitely one of those kind of nights here, kind of weeks, actually, I should say, here in terms of how football games went. And of course, a lot of games were made up yesterday. And we are going to go ahead and roll into our second part of the Blitz Lines here. And as we roll along, if you had this on your bingo card, please come up to the pay window and collect, because I did not have this on the bingo card. Calvary Christian beating Berkeley Prep, but that's how it happens. And at 28-23, the Calvary Christian Warriors beat the defending Class 2N state champions, and couldn't have asked for a better night out of your offense here. 301 total yards of rushing by Calvary Christian. Lane Roberts, 185 yards and a touchdown. Abazio, and one touchdown here, but also the quarterback there. I just wrote it down. So, but anyways, Calvary Christian's quarterback, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Can't ask for any better than that right there. And Austin Ho for Calvary, 118 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. So Calvary Christian looking pretty good there, picking up that big win in district play and putting Berkeley Prep on title defense even further to basically potentially put the Buccaneers in a position that they're going to need a wild card spot, not an at-large, not a spot being guaranteed as a district champion. So Berkeley Prep in a little bit of trouble there on the title defense. All right, how about this? As we roll along, Leonard is flying under the radar. Yes, the Leonard Longhorns. And as we talk about Leonard, they are looking pretty solid. Coach KB Belton has them really looking solid here. And if you had Leonard at 6-0 coming in here at the midway point of the season, I would have said, no, you're kidding, because I didn't think Leonard was going to have it here. But sure enough, the Longhorns here with a 27-22 win over the Lakeland Ranch Mustangs here this past week. And no box score to really kind of give you more of a statistical view of what happened in that game. But honestly, Leonard looking pretty solid, flying under the radar there. So that is huge there for the Leonard Longhorns. All right, Clearwater Central Catholic. Well, they are in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they are district champions here as they rolled Indian Rocks Christian 42-0 for the only district game that they have to play in District 1A8. Yes, it is a 2-team district there. And we talked several weeks ago to head coach Chris Harvey about this. And honestly, here they are, the one district game they needed. They played it right in the middle of the schedule here, week 6. And sure enough, how about Jashawn Newton? 11 of 16 for 127 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Also had 2 rushing touchdowns. And Nasir Hutchinson, 151 yards rushing and a touchdown. But, man, you couldn't ask for a better night out of the Marauders offense there. But looking at the defensively speaking here in terms of the stats here, Clearwater Central Catholic just literally dominated, 87 total tackles among everybody on defense, and a lot of second string guys getting some time there, especially on defense when especially with the score being pretty high as it was. But 1 interception, 2 fumble recoveries there on defense. Keo Jenkins with the 2 fumble recoveries, and Gregory Thomas forcing those 2 fumbles. So when the defense plays well and the offense plays well, usually that leads to a big victory. And for Clearwater Central Catholic, that led to a huge victory for them in week number 6. Now, rolling along here, we've got Manatee. How about Manatee? Wow. I mean, Manatee. Wow. Look at them. Look at what the Manatee Hurricanes did to Pinellas Park, just looking really good here with that 34-10 victory in the in district action there in Class 5A, District 5A9. Yes, Manatee still on that number 1 seed there, sitting in Region 3. And honestly, I when we're looking at this, I mean, honestly, it really come down to a lot. Jaquez Green has got his team really playing well, and I saw that a few weeks ago when they played Buchholz, and nothing's changed there for the Manatee Hurricanes at this particular point here as we roll along during the season here. But yes, the Hurricanes not much in a box score right this second. Some teams are still getting their stats updated here, so of course, they just played last night. Sometimes it takes up to 2 days for the stats to come in. So, but Manatee again rolling along really nicely here. And Emery Smith mentioned this earlier here, and I'm going to bring this up here as we're going to talk about it. He mentioned this on the Drive the State show, and if Emery wants to comment again while we're watching, I'll pull it up as well. How about this? Venice finally holds an opponent to 7 points. They finally have a game where they don't give up 40. There you go. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that again. Another round of applause, because finally Venice does not give up 40 points in a game for the first time this season. They only gave up 7 to a winless Lehigh team. I mean, it finally happened that Venice did not give up more than 40 points. And boy, yes, indeed, the Venice Indians not giving up more than 7 points on Friday night. Alex Schaefer, 11 to 18, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jace Nixon only had 81 yards passing, but 2 touchdowns. Alex Schaefer also rushed for 2 touchdowns. Yes, collectively, the Venice Indians defense had 28 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. And again, when you get a good night out of both your passing game and your running game, it leads to a big victory. And that's how it works there for the Venice Indians. And of course, no sacks for the Indians defense, but they did have 1 interception by Tanner Raw, and but 2 fumble recoveries as well, forced fumble, and even a blocked punt. So when your defense works really well and your special teams clicks, it leads to a big win. And finally, the defense gets stuff done on and off the field there in terms of keeping the number of points down. But Emery Smith asks, I wonder how much IMG scores on Venice this week, and that is a good question. And by the way, that will be one of the games on the Pick 6 this week. IMG Academy at Venice. So yes, we will talk about IMG Academy and Venice coming up here in our Pick 6 here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. All right, as we roll along here, we're going to go into our next topic. And how about this? Fort Myers falls to North Fort Myers. The Greenway fell to the Red Knights 33-30 in a key district contest. And now one that the Greenway will need to earn back, because honestly, the Greenway was looking really good. And North Fort Myers, they finally caught up to them here. So, and as looking, it was a good ball game by no means but not to knock what Fort Myers did or North Fort Myers, but I mean, it was a good ball game between both teams. There was only 1 passing touchdown, but 3 rushing touchdowns. And how about this? Caden Kahn for North Fort Myers, 189 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, which kept the game close. And then Curtis Denham, 163 yards on 17 carries and 2 rushing touchdowns. So, yes, Fort Myers falling to North Fort Myers there, 33-30. And now the Red Knights are sitting in a share of the driver's seat there for their district championship there in class 5A, District 11. I want to say yes. Actually, you know what? I've got it sitting right here on the sheet. How about I just pull it up here? I got that sheet here from yes, Fort Myers, District 5A, 5A, District 11. I did really well remembering that. It's taken, again, this is what's fun. This is what's interesting. It takes about a year and a half to really kind of learn all where the districts and where the teams are at. And by the time you learn it, guess what happens? Reclassification. So reclassification happens, and then we have to roll along with it again. So, all right. But looking at that, we've got Naples. Oh, man, this one was a dandy. How about this? Naples edging Dunbar in overtime. And what a game there for the Golden Eagles to get that big victory over Dunbar in District 4A-12. And now that sets up Naples to be able to, potentially, I should say this. They have a share of the lead in the district. Port Charlotte is the number 1 team in their region. So it's a battle between Port Charlotte, Naples, and Dunbar in District 4A-12, which actually, honestly, at the end of the day, it's one of the best districts anywhere in the state between those 3 teams sitting there right there. How about this? Sean Simeon for Naples, 23 carries, 207 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Wow. He was the ball carrier of the night right there. And then Elijah Molina with 1 rushing touchdown, but it might have been, look like, if I'm correct, that might have been the 1 touchdown that they needed to win the game. So, yes. 3 rushing touchdowns by the Naples Golden Eagles. Sean Simeon with 207 yards of the 207 yards rushing, 23 carries, 2 touchdowns. And yeah, Naples, they did pretty well on defense. How about this? If I'm looking at this correctly on Naples, they had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 sacks. Sean Cabengale, 3 of those sacks right there. How about that? 7 sacks in a game for the Naples Golden Eagles. And with that said, that deserves a round of applause there for the Naples Golden Eagles as well. So we got a couple of games ongoing around the Gulf Coast Blitz here. We actually got one game that is actually of interest right now, and I'm going to actually go ahead and pull that up here on Twitter because we do have some updates coming from Hassani Harper of HT Recruiting. It is between Cardinal Mooney and Lakewood right now. 11:54 in the second quarter. Cardinal Mooney is up 21-0, and Cardinal Mooney just got intercepted here by Lakewood not too long ago by Lakewood's Kendrick Handy. So right this second, Cardinal Mooney was up 21-0 after the first quarter. Connell Jackson for Cardinal Mooney already had 1 yard rushing touchdown, and then Lakewood blocked a punt attempt was blocked by Cardinal Mooney, so that led to that touchdown right there. So again, Devin Mingry also had a 37-yard touchdown pass. Again, this is all from Hassani Harper at H2 Recruiting. He is live on the ground at that game right now as we're looking at the information coming in here across X/Twitter. Live updates on that game. You can follow Hassani there. It's at H2_recruiting on X/Twitter. Yes, that is where to find Hassani with the live updates from Cardinal Mooney versus Lakewood. A huge district game right there to keep an eye on because it's a 3-team district there. I believe it's Cardinal Mooney, Lakewood, and Tarpon Springs. And the way things are looking, that district alone right there, I'll go ahead and pull that up here because we've got that here in Class 2A because we talked about that here on the Drive the State, but it's good worth mentioning this here again. Cardinal Mooney, District 2A9. So all 3 teams in District 2A9 right now sitting there in the playoff bracket, in the playoff hunt, I should say. Cardinal Mooney holding a 1 seed, Tarpon Springs holding the 5, and Lakewood 7. Lakewood has got probably the most to lose in this situation here because the loss here might likely potentially have them sitting outside in the next 2 out come next week when we do the Drive the State show next Tuesday night at 6 o'clock Eastern time right here on FloridaHOSFootball.com. All right, well, like our fan question of the week. Any comments, any questions? Hey, guys, come on, fill up the chat box. Fill up the comments. We got it. Wherever you're watching us at on Facebook, on X/Twitter, or on YouTube, give us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll take any comments, any questions. We'll answer anything. We'll do that other 2-minute water break right here on the Gulf Coast. Come back and we'll do the pick 6 as well for week number 7 and review the picks that we had and the results we had from week 6. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here on the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloridaHOSFootball.com. All welcome back here to the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloatHSFootball.com. Again, coming to you on a not our normal night. Usually would be Monday nights, but we're here on Tuesday night because we flipped the schedule a little bit here with everything with all the makeups going on. But with that said, if you got a question, comment, or anything else you want to put in the comment box, you can leave us a comment or a question on Facebook, X/Twitter, or YouTube. Also, follow us on social media at FloatHSFootball, and also hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Yes, as we roll along right here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. And actually, Emery Smith has a question. Hopefully, if someone from Sumter County is watching, can confirm this. He's hearing that Hardy's game this Friday is at Wildwood, maybe moved to the Villages due to the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, but I don't know if this is true. Honestly, Sumter County didn't take as much of the brunt, I would say, in terms of Hurricane Helene versus Knott's, but if we can get an answer for Emery, well, that'd be great. I'll look into it as well. By the way, as I'm going to mention here with the show here, I mentioned this last night on our shows, and I'll mention it here. Taylor County out in the Panhandle is looking for supplies, everything they need. They need supplies like water, Gatorade, variety snacks, chips, crackers, fruit snacks, gummies, you name it. Taylor County is looking for stuff here, and y'all can send it to Taylor County High School in care of Eli Biddy. That's Eli, and the last name is Biddy, Biddy, and DFO. He's the director of football operations. The school address is 900 Johnson Stripling Road. That's Stripling Road. That's in Perry, Florida, 32347. So yes, the Taylor County Bulldogs are looking for supplies and basically water, Gatorade, a variety of snacks, and several coaches around the state have already sent Amazon orders to be able to be shipped over to Taylor County High School. So if y'all need that address or anything like that, just hit us in the comment box and we'll get that to you here on the show as we roll along, and then we'll talk about it more as well on the North Florida Blitz coming up at 8:30. Ooh. Good question here from Mark Cannon. Good evening to you, Mark. And Cardinal Mooney's biggest test to get to the state finals. Well, I'm going to tell you who the biggest tests are. Cocoa, Bradford. Those are the two biggest tests, I think, that are going to be in the way here in terms of getting there. I could see a potential rematch from Bishop Rowe, probably a regional final there, regional final situation sitting there in Region 3. But honestly, in my opinion, Cocoa and Bradford are going to be the teams that Cardinal Mooney probably potentially would have to deal with. Potentially, I would say potentially in the state. Let me look at it right now, because if this was this whole right in a second, let's just say we'll take the number one seeds from those the four regions: Gadsden County, Bradford, Cardinal Mooney, and then Booker T. Washington. Well, Booker T. Washington has the lowest rating right now of those teams. So Booker T. Washington would end up at Bradford, and Cardinal Mooney would end up at Gadsden County would end up at Cardinal Mooney. So there's a potential chance that it could be Bradford and Cocoa potentially in the way. It could be not. It may be potentially, a Booker T. Washington. It could be a Gadsden County. But this year, the way it's going to go is my understanding is that after the regional finals are done, they will recalculate the rankings again for the first time that they have done this. They used to go off the regular season, but my understanding is that they've asked for a for a recalculation of the rankings after the regional finals. So the first three rounds of the playoff games will be in there and reseed the state semifinals that way. So we may not necessarily know who the teams are going to be in the state semifinals until the next day after the state regional finals are done, and we'll see what happens there. Because the regional finals this year will actually be the weekend before Thanksgiving, and the state semifinals will actually be on the weekend of Thanksgiving this year, because Thanksgiving this year is actually very much later than we are traditionally used to. So for Thursday, November 28th. Yes, I want to say November 28th is the day of Thanksgiving this year. So, but with that said, you know what time it is? It is that time for the Pick Six. Oh, yeah. It is that time for the pick six here as we get ready for week number 7. And I'm going to got it on my sheet right here. Here we go. It's going to come up on the screen anyways, but I just like to follow along the sheet to make sure that I'm following along correctly. So, all right. Well, from last week, 4-1, a game scratched off the results because Cardinal New Moon and Tampa Jesuit, they didn't end up playing. The game's not being made up because obviously Hurricane Helene decided she wanted to have a party and rain on that game. So, anyways, not too bad going 4-1 on the results last week, and honestly, not bad on the season. 29-12, just a little over 70% here as we roll along here. All right, first up on the picks, Newsom at Durant. Both teams 4-2. Newsom coming off a big win. Durant obviously got a district win as well, but I like in this situation, Newsom is just really rolling. Newsom's finding their groove again, and honestly, I feel like this is a game for the Wolves here and not a game for the Cougars. And with that said, I am going to roll with Newsom here in the pick 6 this week. I just think Newsom is coming off a really good win, and I think that is the biggest reason why is that when you're rolling off a big win like that, especially when the fact that you're trying to chase down the district championship, and Durant, one of their losses this year was to Armwood, and that was a big. Oh no! Mark, are you serious? Are you serious? You're going against me? You're going against me here? Just kidding. It's all good. I love it. I love it when y'all go against me, because then we can talk about it next week and we can debate about it. Yes. So that said, I'm going Newsom. Mark Cannon's going Durant. With that said, all right. Trap game coming up for Leonard. Yes, Leonard 6-0 at Plant City 4-2. I say it's a trap game because I don't think Leonard has played this as strong schedule as Plant City has. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I am going to go opposite of the 6-0 Leonard Longhorns. I am taking the 4-2 Plant City Raiders here for the win this week because that strength of schedule test in the eyeball test. Hey, 6-0. Okay, not every 6-0 team is built the same or looks the same, and Leonard's not one of those that looks the same. And that's why I am going Plant City here this week in our second game here on the pick 6. All right, Sebring 3-2 at Booker 3-2. This one I was kind of torn about, but I feel like either team could win this game. And Booker's had some interesting results here. Sebring's had some interesting results. Sebring would be like 4-1 if they just not lost by 1 point to Lake Wells. So, I mean, there's the difference right there. But a little bit of a road trip over to the West Coast. I'm liking Booker at home just because I feel like this is one of these games where if this was at Fireman's Field for Sebring, I take Sebring. So it's like a toss-up to me in this situation. So I'm taking Booker for the win here. And Booker right now sitting there in Class 3A, sitting there at the number 3 spot. And, I think Booker might be being a little undervalued in that situation just because of that region. But we'll have to see how that looks here coming up here over the next few weeks for the Booker Tornadoes. All right. Rolling on to our next game here. We got our fourth game of the pick 6. We have Armwood at Plant. Yes, this game was supposed to have been played last week. I had almost put it on the pick'ems last week. Glad I didn't. Glad it gave me something to be able to put on the picks this week. And Armwood 5-0 at Plant 2-3. Plant, not necessarily the same Plant, but this is a rivalry game. These teams battle it every time they play each other. I mean, regardless of the record, you can throw the records out, and these teams are going to fight each other to the very end. And it really, at the end of the day, Armwood is just really playing their best football. And honestly, to me, Armwood is just Armwood right now, and Armwood's looking like one of the best teams right now in Class 6A. Maybe a favorite now to win that 6A title. The way management's been playing as of lately, but right now, I'm going Armwood here for the game here in our pick six, the fourth game of the pick six. All right, rolling into our fifth game here in the pick six. Naples 5-1 at Fort Myers 5-1. All right, Naples coming off that 21-20 victory in overtime against Dunbar. Fort Myers coming off that 33-30 loss to North Fort Myers. As you know, they say the team that lost last week may be even more fired up and hungry than the team that won last week. But those were two close ball games. And honestly, between the Golden Eagles and the Green Wave, anything can happen. But there really is no but. My thought is for Naples on this one, just because I'm just, to me, with Naples, they know how to play. They know how to beat. They schedule tough. I think that is the biggest difference actually in this game is that Naples' tough scheduling, along with their tough district, pays dividends for them. Whereas Fort Myers, yes, they have had a great start. Outside of losing on last Friday night, and if Fort Myers wins, this would give them a huge boost in the power ranking here. But Naples, I just see the Golden Eagles taking the W here. And yes, start the music back up here. But Golden Eagles for the win over the Green Wave. And our final game, IMG Academy 4-1 at Venice 6-0. IMG Academy was supposed to play Phoenix City Central. Last week, that game was canceled due to Hurricane Helene. Rolling into this, we have between IMG Academy and Venice finally not giving up 40 points for the first time was huge. But for me in this one, I will not pick against IMG Academy here because I feel like IMG Academy has been really playing great football. Now, I will say this not to offend the Venice fans. I think Venice will get a huge boost in points if they beat IMG Academy. But I am just not confident that Venice is going to win this game because this is IMG Academy. This is the IMG Academy national team. No, it's not IMG Academy white. No, it's not IMG Academy blue. This is the national team. It's a short road trip for IMG Academy down to Venice. And honestly, I think Emery Smith is agreeing with me here. He says IMG Academy is the favorite due to how many points Venice has given up all year, but it's at Venice and could be close. Yeah, it could be close, but my thought, IMG Academy. So that's who I'm rolling with here in the pick six. And that is the pick six for week number 7 here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. And Emery Smith also said very interesting, Matt, if I can get the comment to pull up here. Let's see if there we go. All right. Oh, no. It's been a little touchy here with me on the screen. Very interesting matchup between Sebring and Booker. Whoever wins this game may get a little boost in the rankings. And I agree with that someone will get a little bit of a boost in the rankings, but we'll see what happens there. And I want to say this is my thought is I believe this is what I'm hearing. What I remember is correct is that they will recalculate the rankings after the regional finals, which is something new, but I'll make sure and verify that. It's in the football manual, but I'll double check that here between the breaks here, or actually during, it's probably more likely after the show, after North Florida Blitz tonight. So, yes, indeed, it is that time. We are about to wrap it up things here. Definitely appreciate everybody watching here on the Gulf Coast Blitz here in the special time slot here tonight on this Tuesday night. And again, thank you all. Thank you, Emery, for watching and enjoying listening to me as well. I appreciate you watching as you do each and every week. To everybody that watches each and every week here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. And of course, we'll be back next week again, back with the Gulf Coast Blitz, back on our normal time slot, 8:30 on Monday nights. Barring never mind. I'm not going to say anything. I'll knock on wood. I'll just keep quiet. All right. Anyways, for myself, Joshua Wilson of FullHSFootball.com, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the North Florida Blitz coming up here at 8:30. Good night.